This is the Trek Marlin 8, and it is the latest of the Marlin series of bikes to debut in 2021. It is replacing the Excalibur series, and the bike has been spec'd up to be a more aggressive, better hardtail for 2021. This bike is available in Arctic Blue and also in Radioactive Red, which I've heard is a little bit harder to find. And in today's review, I'm going to show you the quirks and features of the Trek Marlin 8. Then I'm going to get it on the road and on the trail and show you how it rides. So this is the Trek Marlin 8, a little closer up in its full glory. I paid roughly $1,100 for this bike at my local bike shop, and they came out in March of this year, I believe. And I've been amongst the first in my area to be seen riding this bike. I had originally ordered the Excalibur 8, and the bike shop told me that this bike replaced that lineup. So this is what I got instead. And originally I thought I might be a little bit disappointed, but I have been loving the Marlin 8 so far. So here we'll dive into some of the specs and features of the Trek Marlin 8. So there are several frame sizes for the Trek Marlin 8. You have your extra, extra small, XS, S, and then medium through extra large. Starting with the small and smaller sizes, you'll get 27.5 inch tires or 26 inch tires, but medium and larger, and this is a large frame, all receive your Maxxis 29 inch tire and rim. The Trek Marlin 8 has hydraulic disc brakes, very powerful, plenty of good stopping power. You have a RockShox air shock suspension fork with 100 millimeters of suspension fork travel. It can additionally be locked out and adjusted on both sides for smoother road riding or trail use. You've got your handlebars, a Shimano shifter, comfortable handlebar grips. This is the large aluminum frame Trek Marlin 8, again in polar blue. You've got a Bontrager saddle. Rear disc brakes, and then a Shimano 12-speed drivetrain. So plenty of gears for climbing and doing speed on the road if you're commuting. You've got pedals installed. There is a kickstand mount right there. I do not have the kickstand personally, but there is a mount for it. Then there is your Allen screws for a water bottle mount and otherwise for little accessories on the frame and stem of the bike. This bike weighs about 30 pounds with the wheels on and a tubeless system. Those tires have tubes in them, and so I believe it weighs around 31 pounds. Pretty light bike. You barely feel it once you're, hefting it on top of the car that I carried around in. And on the road, it definitely feels very light on its feet. All right, I'm riding the Trek Marlin 8. First impressions on the road and the sidewalk, it's really smooth, really fast. You've got this 12-gear shift selector and this 12-gear drivetrain, and it allows you to climb gears and up hills like nobody's business. It also gives you some really high gears so that you can, pedal hard and not have to pedal so much while you're on the road. Just really gets you up to speed. This would make a great commuter bike, great trail bike, and I'll show you guys some clips that I took on some steep mountain bike trails in southwestern Wisconsin. But overall, this bike is great. Like I said, you can tighten up the forks so you don't have that suspension travel while you're on the road. It'll lock them out. That way you'll stay stable and smooth. Just don't forget to unlock them when you're back on on the trails. In conclusion, I really do think this is the best hardtail for the money. Like I said, I got this bike for $1,100 and it MSRP's for $1,200. I couldn't find another bike with air shock forks for less than that. The Giant Fathom line of bikes seems to be the closest competitor at around $1,350. And a lot of people tend to criticize Trek for being more expensive than Giant, but in this case, I really think the specs on the Marlin 8 prove otherwise, that this bike can really hang for $1,200. $1,200 on another bike is just not going to get you this level of components, air shocks, quality frame, and honestly the sexy color and internal cable routing are very attractive as well. Put that all together and you've got a really solid bike in your hands for $1,200 for the intermediate level mountain bike rider that wants to get out on the trail. Thanks for watching my review, and I hope you guys learned something about the Trek Marlin 8 today and maybe even decide to pick one up yourselves. Stay tuned and subscribe to my other videos on my channel.